radio show. And actually that I didn't know. So you'll have to tell us a little bit about that before you quit. And then she's employed by the University of Georgia, which is a biggie here. And she's the extension, and she's called the Family and Consumer Sciences Agent. So anyway, Ines, it's all yours now.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. And I'm going to close my camera if that's okay with you, so I can minimize all of you, but I know you are going to be there. If you want to make a comment, please feel free to write it down in the chat here in the bottom where it says chat. Write something, write a comment, or just raise your hand or turn on your microphone and let me know, like, hey, I have a comment, or I have a question, or I would like to comment about this or that. You're more than welcome to do that during my presentation. So as Rita said, I have been an extension agent for 20 years here in Gwinnett. And it has been an amazing journey. It hasn't been easy, like anything in life, because we go to academic promotions. So in order to go through that, I have to write papers and publications and do national and international presentations. It has been an amazing journey. I love extension. I think we do a great job in the community, trying to bring research-based information to help people to have better life. And in this case today, I want to talk about the healthy brain and the ways that we can help to maintain the brain healthy. And we know there's so many studies done around the world to learn how the cells in the brain change all the time and how these changes cause an impact on dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Their goal, these researchers, they want to find new ways to prevent or slow dementia. And because so much blood flows through the brain and the blood vessels are very delicate, anything that affects your heart, and I want you to remember this part, anything that affects your heart is going to affect the vessels in your brain. And so, for example, having high blood pressure for a long period of time is going to wake the arteries and may increase your risk of dementia. That's only one case. So, but the good news is that we know, and research has shown, that there's so many ways to protect the brain health and to decrease the chances of getting dementia. So today I am going to share with you a lot of great information on ways to maintain your healthy brain. It starts by taking care of your heart and exercising and eating healthy. And like I said, please feel free to make any comments at any time. Oh, come on, these things freeze. How long? When I keep it on for a long period of time, it freezes for some reason. It doesn't like to be on by itself. Okay, here is the second slide. Can you see this? Can you see the slides? No.
You just can you make them bigger?
Yes, I'm trying to. For some reason, it doesn't do it.
No, see.
Oh, oh, bless
There.
you.
Excuse me.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
For some
That's
reason,
better.
it doesn't want to do it the other way around. But we will try this way. All right. So today we're going to learn what we can do to keep our brains healthy. Here are our objectives for today. We're going to define what is dementia and Alzheimer's disease and why they are different. We are going to talk about the risk factors. We are going to learn what a risk factor means, and we are going to talk about how to work with the ones that we can control and the ones that we cannot. And we are going to identify lifestyle changes that may reduce our risk. And this thing doesn't want to work with me today. Okay. So what is dementia and Alzheimer's disease? So dementia is not a specific disease. It's an overall term that describes a wide range of symptoms. So have you heard about the National Institute of Aging, NIA? Hopefully in 2017, they say that dementia is a brain disorder that affects communication and performance of our daily activities. However, dementia is not a normal part of aging. Alzheimer's disease, on the other hand, is the most common type of dementia and accounts for 60 to 80% of the cases of dementia. Alzheimer's disease affects parts of the brain that control thought, memory, and language, and also cause damage to the brain cells. So let me give you an example of what I mean when I said that dementia is a range of symptoms. And I like this example. For example, when somebody has a sore throat, the causes can be many of them. It can be allergies or a strep throat or a common cold. So similarly, when someone has dementia, they are experiencing symptoms without being told what is causing those symptoms. So another major difference between Alzheimer's and dementia is that Alzheimer's is not reversible, unfortunately. And it is a degenerative and incurable disease. Some forms of dementia, such as drug interaction or a vitamin deficiency, are actually reversible or temporary. Once a cause of dementia is found, appropriate treatment and counseling can begin. So that's the biggest difference between the two. Do you guys have any questions about what I just said and explain? Okay. Okay, so just remember, Alzheimer's is a disease that destroys memory and causes damage to the cells in the brain, while dementia is a group of symptoms. So it's not really a damage in the brain, okay? So have you heard about mild cognitive impairment, or MCI? Any of you guys? The reason I want to talk about this is because mild cognitive impairment is when a person has early stage memory loss or changes in thinking ability. It's like the ability to see or ability to detect how far away or close something is. And that's people may be confused with what is dementia, what is Alzheimer's, and what is MCI. So people sometimes start misplacing things in their home or having difficulty keeping a train of thoughts during conversations or trouble finishing everyday tasks like paying a bill. So these changes may be noticed by person or friends and family, but are not serious enough to impact the daily activities. So like dementia and Alzheimer's disease, these are not normal part of aging. AMC can be serious and only account for 1/3 of people who will be developing dementia in the next 5 years. Not everyone with mild cognitive impairment progress into Alzheimer's disease, and some people stay at the same level of mild cognitive impairment and never progress into anything else. Other people may revert to normal cognition and thinking. So just want to talk about what is mild cognitive impairment. It's not Alzheimer's and it's not dementia, and it can be treated. Or some people just stay at that level for a long period of time. But when it changes, and if it's going to change to Alzheimer's disease, it's going to be at least in the next 5 or 7 years. Okay, let's talk about how common is Alzheimer's disease in the United States. Unfortunately, it's the leading cause of thinking problems and memory loss in older adults, Alzheimer's disease is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States, according to the National Center for Health Statistics. In more than 6 million Americans are living with the Alzheimer's disease in 2022. 1 in 10 Americans over the age of 65 has Alzheimer's disease. As you can see from the graph on the right, the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease increases with age, while only 5% of adults aged 65 to 74 have Alzheimer's disease. About 33% or 1/3 of adults aged 85 and older have this disease. So this is an important disease to talk about and understand what makes it, what makes it more or less likely to get Alzheimer's disease and what we can do about it. Let's learn about some of the risk factors for dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so do you know what is a risk factor? I like to talk about risk factors. So risk factors are things that increases the chances of getting a disease. So a person's lifestyle, the environment, the genetic background will contribute to the likelihood of getting a disease. Of course, we know that. Disease can increase or decrease your chances of getting a disease and are called risk factors. Risk factors on their own are not the cause or the cause of a disease. Risk factors represent an increased chance, but no certainty that a disease will develop. Some risk factors we can control and some of them we cannot, like you see in the list of risk factors in the slide. Let me see if I can make it bigger, because it's no, for some reason doesn't want to work. But anyways, there's some factors that we can control. So we cannot smoke, we can do more physical activity, and we will talk about that, and we can eat healthy and nutritious diet. However, we cannot control the family history, like genetics, the race that we are born with, the gender, and the age. So, but we can help with the other two, with the other risk factors. Okay, so the good news is that there are some lifestyle changes we can make, such as eating healthy and being physically active, that may lower our risk. So we know that there is a recent study of more than 2,500 individuals, and the study showed that people who follow 4 out of the first 5 behaviors were found to have a 60% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. These researchers are actively working with determining the combination of factors that help the most. So some sites you will find, if you go research on your own, that they say 5 behaviors or 7 behaviors or 10 behaviors are important, and maybe you can add more to this list. But the important thing is to know that these are all related and also good behaviors for preventing other diseases. So physical activity, quit smoking if you are smoking, limit the amount of alcohol you intake every day, eating healthy, control your blood pressure, stimulate your brain, and connect with family and friends are some of the behaviors that we can do and implement to try to lower the risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. What do you think, guys? Are there any other factors that you would like to add to the list to decrease the disease? What about stress? What do you think? Adding lack of stress. Anybody?
About vitamin D? They keep talking about that.
Adding vitamin D, very good. It can be part of the healthy eating, and we will talk about that. Perfect. What else? Avoiding stress is another one, right? What about sleeping?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the amount of sleep that we need every day, we can add it to that list. Like I said, there are 3 or more and you will find different ones, but those are great. Okay, muy bien. So let's talk about the first one in our list, and it was physical activity. And the message here is for everybody to move more and sit less. A study has shown that adults should move more and sit less throughout the day. Do you think that's right? I'm thinking that yes. I was telling Rita that we just came back from a trip to Italy, and of course we were walking every day a lot of hours. We came back on Thursday and I already realized that I'm sitting more at home being here than when I was doing all that physical activity there. So yes, unfortunately, we are spending a lot of time sitting down. And so some physical activity is better than none. If you spend at least 30 minutes of every day doing some type of physical activity, that will help and that will bring so many benefits to your health. So adults should follow the exercises that the doctor's telling you to follow. Talk with your doctor about doing aerobic activity and talking about the intensity that you need to do. So I have 3 examples in the slides and I want you to see that. Let me know if can make it smaller. The example number 1 talks about moderate intensity aerobic activity. What is moderate? Can anybody give me an example of what is moderate? Moderate is when you work hard enough to raise your heart rate and you start sweating. And one way to know if you are doing a moderate intensity aerobic activity is that you will be able to talk but not sing the words of your favorite song. So some examples of moderate activity are walking fast, doing water aerobics, riding a bike on level ground or with few hills, playing doubles tennis, or pushing a lawn mower, which are great. In the example number 2, we talk about vigorous intensity aerobic activity. What is vigorous? Vigorous means you are breathing hard and fast, and your heart rate has gone up quite a bit. You may use the talk test to gauge the intensity of your aerobic physical activity. If you're being active at a vigorous level, you won't be able to say more than few words without pausing for breathing. So here's some examples of activity that are vigorous. Jogging or running, swimming laps, riding a bike fast or on hills, playing single tennis, playing basketball. And the example number 3 are an equivalent mix of moderate and vigorous intensity aerobic activity. And any of those physical activities needs to be done 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And I always tell people, if you can do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening, whatever works for you. If you wake up early in the morning and do 30 with the TV, just walking, and you can do moderate or vigorous, it will be great. But the other important addition to the physical activity is the strengthening activities. And you have heard so many studies nowadays about the importance of work your muscles in your body. And the recommendation now is to work and strengthening your muscles on 2 or more days a week. Because working your legs, hips, back, abdomen, chest, shoulders, and arms are going to increase the strength of your muscles and protect your bones. And I know, and I'm sure you have heard about that. Any questions about physical activity?
We might get back to that for polio fatigue.
Yeah,
Get back
Ines,
to that later.
Most of these we can't do, but like you said, we would have to adjust it to us polio people. But
Correct. And I don't know, sitting down and doing some kind of exercises for your legs and arms, and maybe doing some yoga to strengthen your muscles. I'm doing a lot of yoga. I have a lot of problems with my neck, the muscles in my neck and my shoulders. And just doing some simple exercising and repetitions and strengthening my muscles are really helping. I think moderate intensity aerobic just means a way to sweat a little bit without doing such a big effort on being vigorous and still working your muscles. Yes, so you can work your body and your the way that you are right now. Just try to move. The whole goal in this part of the presentation is that you try to increase whatever you are doing and maybe increase a little bit more to help your muscles.
Dr. Strasser, one of our post-polio doctors, told me the last thing he said to me was keep doing water aerobics. So I do it 3 times a week and it's wonderful. I even use buoyancy help so that my legs that are weak are
getting strong. Wonderful.
Everything. My aerobic is for my heart too, because I needed a lot of that. So it's the best overall. He said, do that, stop doing that. And that's what I'm following his advice.
Wonderful. I think water aerobics, and like I mentioned those in the moderate exercise, are amazing because it helps. You're working against gravity and against water, and it's helping to strengthen your muscles in your body. You're completely right. And I'm so glad you are doing it. So we will encourage others to maybe try to do that, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for saying that and helping with that. That's wonderful.
I guess while we're looking at alternatives, I did that seated Tai Chi course, part of the Georgia Tech research thing. And I didn't keep it up, but I think they say that with Tai Chi, you can accomplish some of these things. I don't know. Maybe I'd have to research it again.
And the research is there, and we know that Tai Chi has shown that help with your balance, right?
Yeah.
And help concentration and helps to move your muscles in a certain way, like wave movement that help to strengthen your muscles too.
So is chair yoga. Chair yoga is very good because again, you can modify it to whatever problem you have, but still stretch.
Yes.
And it's very, very good. I do that also. Thank you.
Correct. Yes. And I know you guys have the ways and have tried many different things. Me, aging now, I have found because of stress getting some issues, like I said before, with my neck, my hips, and really just walking or doing the yoga in a chair when I'm at work and stretching my muscles and strengthening the muscles sometimes just by doing simple things like try to lay back on a wall and pull my arms up. Just that simple exercise helps to strengthen my muscles in my shoulders and in my arms. It's amazing. And it takes only 10-15 minutes. So there are little things that we can do to help ourselves. Thank you so much for telling us those ideas that helps everybody else. That's
working with weights, little weights. You could be watching TV and you can be doing weights or those TheraBands.
The bands are amazing. Thank you. Those bands, I took my band to my trip to Italy, believe it or not. And every night I was stretching my back between my legs and my arms. Yes, wonderful. And I have bands that I can send Rita if for your group. I have nice UGA bands that I can give to your the members of your group if you would like for me to do that. Where is Rita?
Rita's got to unmute. Yeah, well,
That
we'd
would be
like that.
great. Yes, that would be great.
Yes, so I can send you like a page, only one page with some exercises that you can do, guys, with the bands, with stretching bands, and I can send you those via mail.
Okay. And we could actually post it on our website.
Yes, that will be great. So I will do that for you.
Okay.
Okay, so
I have,
please.
I have one other question for exerciser. I get out on the mower, the zero turn mower,
Yes,
and
yes.
the vibration, I don't get as tired because I'm just sitting, of course, and I am moving my arms, but just slightly. But when I'm done, I feel kind of invigorated, and I wondered whether just vibration is like total vibration of our body does something.
Adding that to your body, probably it is something different that you are adding to your body. Just sitting down and moving around also, and the air in your face, you know, and the air that you're breathing and the movement, that vibration also helps your muscles in a way. Yes, ma'am, completely right. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so let's talk about no smoking. What is the problem with smoking? So we know that smoking increases the risk of vascular problems, including strokes or smaller bleeds in the brain, which are also risk factors for dementia. In addition, toxins in cigarettes, smoke, cause inflammation and stress to cells, which have both been linked to the development of Alzheimer's disease. So it's not only the fact that it affects our lungs like everybody thinks, but all those chemicals and toxins that are in the cigarettes that cause inflammation and cause stress in the cells. Secondhand smoke has been shown to increase the risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and other diseases, as we know. And studies have shown that it may also increase a person's risk of developing dementia later in life. That, to me, is amazing. Research suggests that the more exposure to secondhand smoke a person has, the higher the dementia risk will be. Okay, alcohol. I will tell you guys, I enjoy having a glass of wine, maybe twice, 3 times a week with my dinner when we go out with some friends, or I love to have friends coming here at home, having a great dinner and have a glass of wine. However, do you think alcohol can damage the brain? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yes, Leslie, yes. So yes, heavy alcohol consumption over a long period of time can lead to brain damage. People who drink heavily over a long period of time are more likely to have a reduced volume of the brain white matter, which helps to transmit signals between different brain regions. So this is the recommendation. And I always tell people, if you don't drink, please don't think that I'm telling you to start drinking alcohol. For women, the recommendation is no more than 1 drink per day. And what is 1 drink? Will be maybe a beer, as you can see in the slides, of 12 ounces. It can be malt liquor, as you can see, 8 to 9 ounces per day. The wine, as you can see, only 5 ounces in a glass, 12% alcohol. Normally, what I see in the bottles is 15% alcohol. Or 1.5 ounces of gin, rum, tequila, vodka, or heavy liquor. For a man, no more than 2 drinks per day of the same. I think people are drinking a lot of alcohol. I have been teaching at Georgia Gwinnett College. I did this presentation. They were amazed of the recommendation. They didn't know that they only should drink, women, just one of those. They were like, oh no, all of them. And I was like, no, it's only one of those. The boys, the men, were also amazed to see the recommendation were only 2 drinks per day. Unfortunately, that's the case, and people are abusing alcohol, and this is causing a lot of damage in the brain of the people. And also the other problem is that it's decreasing the amount of vitamin B in the body, and it's affecting the short-term memory. As you can imagine, alcohol is not a good thing. And if you don't drink at all, wonderful. If you are thinking, I met this lady in the Northcoast Senior Center. She was 87 years old. And she told me, and she told in front of everybody, that she was drinking 2 glasses of whiskey, pure whiskey every day. And she has been doing it for a long time. And if it worked for her, and the doctor said that is okay, and she's doing okay, good. The thing is not to abuse alcohol. I think that's the main message. Any comments about this? Okay, so let's talk about healthy eating. Let's see what is healthy eating. Healthy eating may reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. Additionally, healthy eating impacts the risk factors for Alzheimer's disease, like blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar, as you can imagine. There are many ways to achieve a healthy eating pattern. One way that we recommend is using the USDA, the Department of Agriculture of the United States, My Plate, that is shown here on the bottom right of the slide. I think that's a great tool that you can use because it's showing you a variety, the different colors, the different foods, and the amounts. Have any of you used My Plate as a guide to eat healthy? Nobody?
Mm-mm.
No? I use it every day, guys. Maybe in part because that's what I teach, that's part of what I teach every day. In part because I have noticed that it helps to control the amount of food I eat. Also because it helps me to add all the foods I need in my plate. As you can see, you can have fruits, grains, hopefully whole grains, vegetables, protein, any kind of protein, animal protein or plant protein, and the dairy every day, and every meal should be part of this plate.
Ines, I've used that, and I've also found it helpful to switch, switch to a smaller plate.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. The recommendation is to use a 9-inch plate, which is smaller than the big plates we used to have at home. I still have big plates, but 9 is a little smaller, 9-inch plate. And what I love about this, as you can see the slide, the picture in the slide, the colors. The whole idea is that you have as many different colors, as many different food types in your plate, because that way you get all the nutrients, all the vitamins from different sources. That's the whole goal of My Plate of the USDA. I think that's a great idea. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love My Plate. And I can also, Rita, send via mail with you with the other things that I'm sending you. A handout that is really colorful and is telling you how much in cups of grains, fruits, vegetables, protein per day people should have.
Mm-hmm.
Can we spread that out? Because like we're trying to do like 5 meals a day instead of 3 meals, but we can have like fruit and there'd be 1 meal and vegetables. And I mean, we could spread it out over the day, just get that balance.
Yes, ma'am. You can do that any way you want. The whole idea is that this is mostly for 2,000 calories. This is an example, but you can apply it for the amount of calories the doctor is telling you to get. If you go to myplate.org, you can get there is a way for you to get how much per day of fruits, vegetables, protein, dairy you need.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
you can spray that with breakfast, snacks, lunch, dinner, and the other snack. But it's telling you how many cups per day according to your level of calories. So if you go to myplate.org, and you tell I can show you in a minute if you remind me at the end.
Can I ask you, I read somewhere on the National Institute of Health website that older people, the older you are, the more protein.
Yes, yes. And do you remember I was mentioning, and we were talking about the importance of strengthening your muscles?
Right.
Okay, same thing. People start forgetting about protein as we age for some reason. Protein plays an important part of our diet, because if we don't strengthen our muscles, we are going to lose muscle, we are going to not protect our bones, we are going to lose balance. So yes, protein is very important, as well as all the other nutrients, as you can see in the my plate.
They said to multiply for people that, like all of us are older, 0.6 times your weight, and that's how many grams of protein you should be taking in.
Yes.
Now, a lot of these grains have protein too, so there are, but if you can do dairy or modified dairy, but so it's a wide variety of things. It's not just eating burgers all day.
Correct. And that's why this is so important, my plate, because you are not getting only protein, like you just said, from animal products, but only plant-based, like lentils and chickpeas and beans, which have more fiber, right?
Right.
And you are getting it from the cheese, from the milk, from the yogurt. And if you eat quinoa, quinoa is so high in protein. So you're getting also protein from this. So it's using my plate in a smart way. And I will encourage you guys to go to myplate.org or myplate.gov. I will check in my phone for a second and check that. And because it's asking you, when you do your personal my plate, it's asking you your age. And so that's very important. Thank you for sharing that about the importance of protein as we age. Very good, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue about the eating healthy and the importance of some antioxidants and substances that help reduce oxidative stress in the body. Do you know what is oxidative stress in your body? It's when we don't eat enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy oils, and the cells don't get enough nutrients and oxygen, and they start damaging. So that's why exercising and getting oxygen in our cells is so important, combined with the antioxidants for all the fruits and vegetables and whole grains and healthy oils. Fish is another important part of our diet. We need to eat fish at least 2 times per week. Sometimes we say 3 times. You can add sardines or salmon or tuna to your pasta, to your crackers, to your rice. But you have to limit also the saturated fats and sweets. Did you know what is saturated fats? Anybody can help me?
Saturated fat is fat that you get in steak,
Okay,
but
good.
it's good. Well,
Aren't they fats that are usually solid at room temperature?
Very good. Yeah.
They are saturated with hydrogen. Your body has a harder time breaking them down.
Correct. Okay, so the first thing first. Yes, saturated fat is the fat that is solid at room temperature. Examples of those are cheese, right? Whole milk, the fat that you can see, like somebody mentioned on the steak, the delicious juicy fat when you eat a steak, The white fat that you see in the chicken, in the skin, when you prepare a soup, and you can see the fat on the top and the surface of the soup. Can you picture that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that's all that is saturated fat. Why do we need to limit that saturated fat? Because it is not healthy for our veins in our body, right? It's going to cause problem. So sometimes eat it, you have to limit saturated fats. Now, somebody mentioned fried food, the trans fats. Yes, we need to avoid all that. Any food that is fried is going to be transformed. That is causing other types of problems in our blood pressure, our heart, and our brain. So the less fried, the more natural, the less processed foods we can eat, the better we will be at. I always tell people how much a can of sardines cost nowadays. A can of sardines.
I don't know.
Like
So-
75 cents, $1.20,
Yeah, dollar.
$1, right? And
Yeah.
imagine the amount of nutrients in that can of sardine.
15. So
Fif-
protein.
Okay, besides protein, thank you, Nancy. Besides the protein, we have the omega-3, and then we have calcium from the bones of the sardines. Those bones, we need to squeeze them and we need to eat them because they're calcium for our body. It's much cheaper than red beef.
Hmm.
And it's much healthier, more nutritious when you think about it. So I always tell people there are other ways to get our source of protein in a cheaper way and in a healthier way. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When you say fried food, like if I just put oil in a pan and throw in vegetables on it, peppers and onions, is that
That's-
fried food?
No,
Is that?
no, that's considered sauté. And to me, sauté is a great way to add some canola or olive oil to our vegetables, which is great.
Okay.
Deep
So
fried,
sauteing is not frying. Okay.
no, sauté is not fried. Deep fry is the problem. And I love French fries, trust me. I eat French fries like once a month or less than once a month.
Okay.
But the taste of French fries or the sweet potato French fries are delicious, right?
Yeah.
But we need to limit those. Yes, sauteing is different than deep fry. Good point.
In oven,
Okay. So deep fried is the problem.
Deep fry is the problem, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
but you can oven roast them too.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay,
depends on
that's
what,
good.
it depends on what you're frying them in. It depends on the oil that you're frying them in. I would use the avocado oil to fry in because that's good oil.
Mhm.
And it's a high heat oil. And respectfully, I wouldn't use canola because it's synthetic. Enough said.
Okay.
Yes, so there are so many discussions about the canola oil, and there are so much information out there about canola oil. The research that we have at the universities, like I told you, it shows that canola oil is okay to use for frying. It's a healthy oil besides the canola oil. Now, air fries are a great way to fry our food, right? Without using deep fry, correct?
Yep.
And so I tell people, now technology is even helping us to avoid deep fry food. Yeah, roasted, I love the roasted also in the oven. It's just that when it's summer, I can use my oven because my house is so little and it gets so hot. But I love I love roasting my vegetables also, and I add that canola oil. If you want to read more about canola oil and the research showing that it's not really that bad as people thought at one time, I will also send you some information about it. Okay, so let's talk about, keep talking about eating healthy and the MIND diet. So MIND is the new research that has been done to combine two diets that are really, really healthy, combining the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. Remember the DASH diet? The DASH diet is done to decrease the high blood pressure, correct? And we know that Mediterranean diet is a healthy diet that uses a lot of fish, whole grains, and vegetables. So there are 10 foods that the MIND diet encourage. The first food is the green leafy vegetables. Like what? Like spinach and kale and greens and all those green leafy vegetables that are so healthy. Also other vegetables like non-starchy vegetables, starchy vegetables, all of those vegetables that you see in many different colors, try to add it to your diet. The second food are berries. You need to eat berries at least 3 times a week. Any berries will be great. As you can see in the picture, they show strawberries. Apparently, that's the big of a deal, and I'm glad because April, at the beginning of April, we have a lot of strawberries that you can buy, and you can freeze those. So strawberries are great, but also blueberries and other berries because they have great antioxidant benefits. The third food, as you can see in the picture, are nuts. And nuts are a great source of vitamin B12 and at least 1 ounce of servings each day. Can you picture 1 ounce of nuts in your brain and your hand? How much do you think 1 ounce is?
2 tablespoons?
Yeah, thank you. 2 tablespoons, something that you can put in the palm of your hand, no more than that. Now, people start talking, oh, walnuts are better than peanuts, peanuts are better than this. Well, I wrote an article about the different nuts, and all of them are giving you different amount of nutrients. So what I tell people is mix them. Mix as many nuts as you can and eat it just a little bit, like the 2 tablespoons every day. That would be great. Olive oil is the other food that this MIND diet recommends. We know that we don't need to cook or deep fry with olive oil, but we can saute with olive oil and that will be fine. Whole grains, whole grains. We need whole grains at least 3 times a day. Just remember, the grains are the foods that are giving us the energy, and also they are so rich in vitamin B12. Choose oatmeal, quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, and whole wheat bread. And there are places where you can find great sources of high fiber breads like Aldi for a low price. Okay, fish, that's the other food. How many times a week? We say at least twice or 3 times, correct? Because of the omega-3 fatty acids and the importance for our heart. So choose salmon, sardines, trout, tuna, and mackerel. And you can find those in the stores. What about beans? That's the other food that MIND diet recommends. Include beans in at least 4 meals every week. 4 meals, so you can use lentils, chickpeas, beans in any kinds, any other legumes that you think. Soybeans, for example, they are so high in protein, so high in nutrients, and so high in fiber. Poultry is another recommendation. Poultry at least twice a week. Did you see the little chickens there in the picture? Aim for no more than twice a week, you should eat chicken, hopefully the breast. Try to avoid the saturated fat in the dark meat, like legs,
Uh-oh.
wings, right? They are really high in saturated fat.
Hmm.
Wine. Wine, as I told you, I'm not encouraging you guys to drink if you are not drinking, but just limit the amount to 1 servings if you are a woman and 2 servings if you are a man. Limit saturated fats, as we talked, avoid trans fats, as we spoke about it, and limit cheese intake. When people, I love cheese. I don't know about you guys, but I like cheeses like Gouda, like hard cheeses. Those are my favorites. And always I remember the serving size per day is my only the half part of my thumb finger. Only the half part of my tongue. Reduce the amount of red meat you eat. What is red meat? Beef, lamb, and pork. And try to eat less than 3 times a week those red beef or red meats. Avoid fried foods, reduce sodium intake, and limit pastries and sweets. Limit. I'm not saying don't have it, just limit them. Yes, you can have a cookie a day. Yes, you can have half a cup of ice cream, not every day, but maybe twice a week. So just limit the amount of those pastries that you are eating. Because all this healthy eating and this mind diet is helping to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease, because it's reducing the oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. Okay. And as we know, healthy eating impacts other risk factors for Alzheimer's disease, like blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. That is also causing other damage. Any questions about the man diet? What do you think about the man diet? Do you like it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very informative. It's very nice.
I'm missing the chocolate.
Yes, so the chocolate.
I have a question.
Yes,
Do you have an opinion about farm-raised fish as opposed to wild caught? I mean,
Yeah.
wild caught fish is like 3 times more expensive, but is the farm-raised okay for you?
Yes, still studies shows that it's okay. It's not a problem. That's why we recommend to have a variety of fish during the week. Not only salmon, not only tuna, not only sardines, but have a variety.
Okay.
When people start talking about those kind of questions, I always said variety is important. When you only have one thing all the time in your diet, that could be a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So variety is important. We have a question in the chat. Thank you for the
Sorry.
presentation. Have another Zoom. Somebody's gone.
Right.
Okay. So let's see if I can move to the next one. Okay. So can you build very quick a mind plate? And if you want to share with the rest of us, what is your plate looking at? Please let us know.
I'm glad I wrote it down.
Leslie, did you say something, or Nancy?
I say I wrote it down.
Okay, how it looks like.
So you've got the vegetables and the protein on the bottom, and the fruit and grains on the top, and dairy over there in blue.
Uh-huh. So what would you choose, let's say, for dinner tonight? What would you choose for your vegetables?
Green beans,
Green beans. Okay. Yes. What about protein?
salmon.
Yep.
Okay. Good job. What about for whole grain?
That's harder.
Piece of bread, toast.
Yeah, a piece of whole wheat bread toast. Uh-huh.
I'm on a FODMAP diet, so I can eat a little bit of black beans
Okay.
or something. Well, grains would be like flaxseed. There you go.
They do make quinoa pasta.
There you go. Maybe that would go there.
Really?
Yeah, I like the whole wheat pasta.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
All right, so I have a 19-year-old boy. I want to share with you something. I have been teaching this for 20 years. That boy eats whatever you put in front of him. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, just name it, okay? He is so skinny. He had my metabolism. He's really tall and very short, but he's tall, thank God. He is not like his mom. And he is doing a lot of weights, lifting weights. So what I'm doing is here in the protein part, I'm giving him a lot of fish, a lot of, and variety, meat, chicken, fish. But today I'm cooking some lentils with sweet potato. And for the whole grain, I'm cooking some quinoa for him because I want to give him more protein. And then I'm making a mixed salad with a lot of leafy greens, vegetables. And for the fruit, I always mix the fruit with the dairy, and I give him a yogurt, which is giving him more protein, and a piece of fruit, normally orange, normally it's a citric, so that I give him more vitamin C. So I think having a variety is the key, guys. And if you're in a special diet, just think about it. And like somebody mentioned, quinoa. To me, quinoa is a great food because it's not only high in protein, but high in fiber and so many other nutrients. So I would recommend whole, the brown rice or the quinoa for your grains. And like somebody mentioned, the whole wheat bread is amazing. Thank you for sharing. That's great. Okay. So something important, reading your label. Do you guys know how to read your label?
All but those fats. Let's see.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So reading label is important because we get so many products that we use at home for cooking, right? Or sometimes we get a snack that we have to eat while we are on the road or whatever. There's few things that I want to share with you very quick about reading labels. The first information is the serving size. How many servings per container is in the package? And what is the serving size? As you can see here, this label is telling me that there are 4 servings and 1 cup is the serving size for me. If I have 2 cups, I'm already halfway of the container and the amount of calories is going to be double, right?
Mm.
The second information, as it shows here, is the calories, and it counts for the calories from fat and calories from sugar. The third information that you need to take into the account is the nutrients, including this one here. Did you know that they changed the information in the label 5-6 years ago because people were not getting enough vitamin D, as somebody mentioned today? Vitamin D has shown that it's so important for the brain health, for your nerve system, for your muscles, correct? Remember in COVID, all the problem with people getting low vitamin D? Now, I want to ask you something. Do you know what are the sources of vitamin D?
Sun.
Yes, the sun is one. What is the other natural source of vitamin D?
Milk. Milk's not natural. No, that's
No, it's not natural.
Somebody, what else is vitamin T?
Natural.
There's different vitamin Ds now, right?
Yes, but what are the main sources of vitamin D besides the sun? The sun, I'm sorry. The eggs. Eggs.
Oh, that's right.
If you look
Eggs?
at yes, if you look at the egg, it looks like what?
White and yellow.
Like the sun.
Ah.
Oh,
Okay. So the only 2 natural sources of vitamin D are the eggs and the sun. Unfortunately, people have bad information about the eggs. The eggs are not saturated, they are unsaturated food, they are healthy, they have good fats. Yes, they are high in cholesterol, but they don't increase the cholesterol in your body. What increases the cholesterol in your body is the saturated fat. And doctors are not nutritionists. Doctors are not dietitians. And when you go to a doctor and your cholesterol is high, they say, well, you need to quit eating eggs. And everybody start quitting eating eggs. But that's not true. What increases your cholesterol in your body is the saturated fat, like cheese, like whole milk, like the fat in the steak, the fat in the chicken, all that, okay? So talk with your dietitian if you have been told about quitting eating eating eggs because of your cholesterol, your high cholesterol levels. Okay.
Oh, about eggs, isn't it also true that they contain lecithin, which helps your body get rid of cholesterol?
Yes, yes. Isn't that amazing about eggs? They have 13 vitamins, 13. It's not only vitamin D, they have 13 vitamins total. And what is the price of one egg? They're so inexpensive. Remember, they used to be so crazy expensive for a while? I think the price went down again. I would recommend you if you are in a good health and you are able to have an egg every day, please do it, but limit the amount of saturated fat that you are eating the rest of the day, okay? So vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, as you can see, is important. Fiber is important. Sugar, and as you can see, the new labels have added sugar now. Limit this amount to 5 grams of added sugar, no more than 5 grams. And number 4 is telling you to limit these saturated fats, trans fats, and cholesterol and sodium. Okay, we're not going to talk about carbohydrates because that's another class and it's about diabetes, and we don't want to go there now. Any questions about the nutrition facts label?
I wouldn't eat this food because it's 23% saturated fat.
Correct. Thank you. Don't eat that. It's more than 20%. Is very high in saturated fat. Like sodium, look, more than 20% is 35, is 37%. That's really high, right? So let's avoid that. Thank you so much for taking that. Okay, control your blood pressure is the next one. If you have high blood pressure, please take your medicine as the doctor is telling you to do it. Don't smoke. You have to control the cholesterol levels to less than 200 milligrams. Eat less salt. Follow the MIND diet. Eat more fruits and vegetables, and keep moving. Exercising, walking, jogging, cycling, swimming helps to control your blood pressure. Also, for another way to lower your risk for Alzheimer's disease is to stimulate your brain, keeping the mind active, play a new instrument, work outside, get the air, get more oxygen in your lungs, have some hobbies. I don't know which ones you have. I don't have a good one. Maybe I only walk every day, keep exercising every day. Maybe try to read. I'm watching too much TV. I think I need to lower that. But I try to read more, and that's what I'm trying. And that's why I'm so happy you guys are members of book clubs, and you get together and you learn from each other, and you talk about your families and your past and your trips. That all helps with your brain, to keep your brain active. So please keep doing that. Also keep doing puzzles, keep doing words, letters, write papers, write the computer, use your phone to play some games that keep your brain active. I would recommend all that. And keep social active. It really helps to delay the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Painting, writing, playing games, laughing, enjoying the company of others, having lunch with people, having deep conversations about life, about what are you doing, what did you do in the past, what is important for you. All that socialization to me is so important, because it really helps your brain to look things from a different perspective and use your vocabulary more and use new words and learn more new words, you know, all that is really helpful. Okay, so in summary, because it's 2:05, guys, I'm sorry it took me so long. We can have a healthy brain by having a healthy lifestyle, definitely. So remember to exercise at the level you can and you are able, at least 30 minutes every day. If you smoke, please quit smoking. If you don't smoke, please don't start. Limit the alcohol intake. We saw how much per day for women and how much per day for men. Eat healthy, choosing the mind foods and nutrition meals. Keep your blood pressure in check, and challenge your brain. And please stay socially active. Very important. Do you guys have any questions? Any comments? Any questions? There is not my contact information, but Rita have it, and I will send you guys some recipes for the healthy brain. I am going to send you the band for stretching. I'm sorry, let me start my camera. I'm going to send the band via mail. If you have any ideas of what else, what other sources I can send, Belinda fell asleep.
You can send it to my email and then I'll have it whatever, I'm posted for our website if it's any that is possible to be allowed.
Yeah, of course it is. It's information that we share university for the community, so it is, it's okay. Leslie, Jordan, Nancy, Joe, Belinda, Kathy, thank you so much for attending. Pat and Barbara, thank you. I hope this information works as a reminder. I know you know all this information. I know you work on this every day. I know you read a lot. This is only a reminder of little things that you can do and you have to keep doing to keep your healthy brain.
Well, I think this has been really great. Even though you sort of know everything, you really don't know everything, and it puts it all together.
Yeah.
And it helps us. I mean, I never thought of it as affecting the brain, so to speak. But yeah, because so many people now get dementia, you know, we want to try to prevent a lot of that if possible.
Yes, and remember, even though it runs in the family, just like cancer runs in the family, doesn't mean that you will get it. You can work on the risk factors that you can control and control them. And that's the important part of this message.
Right. That's a very important part of this.
Well, I thank you so much because you're taking time, you know, on the weekend to give us a presentation. So I thought that was pretty special.
This is my passion. I love to do this. Thank you for the invitation. If I can help in any other way, I will, and I will send you the stretching bands and the book and recipes and my plate and all that. Rita, we talk later and see how can we meet, and I can give you all that and send it via mail.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, we could, all right, if you send me an email and then I can meet with you. I could have it at the senior center. I could pick up some stuff.
Yes, we can do that. Perfect.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
You want to stay here? Do I need to leave? You're going to stay? Thank you.
No, we stay on and then we discuss our little problems or anything else that we have.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Thank you a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Pat, this is Rita, and of course, all of you. Barbara has COVID now. So if you would be so kind as to call her, and not our Barbara, but our Vice President Barbara.
Barbara Roosted, okay.
Yeah, Barbara Roosted, And if you would, you know, call her and then have a lunch or whatever sent.
Okay.
I think it would be nice.
Okay.
Because she's very tired and that.